We proclaim, this is where the seriousness begins, we proclaim, and it's happened with me, that ours is the true Guru, and we have the Gyan, the eternal knowledge. We speak very highly and lofty ideals we have. We try in our life to change ourselves that we may imbibe and live up to those lofty ideals. But when somebody we know realizes, well, he is a hypocrite. Maybe when he goes to Sangat, he's a pious and pure man. But when he's at home or when he's with us, with friends and society, I know what he's like. So if he's like this, then how is his Guru? He must be a hypocrite. I've heard this, somebody has said this to me. It's like a slap in the face. That is the responsibility that we have. And we can only fulfill that responsibility when we realize how we are to live this life. I'm coming back to that, the 2 lives, the 48-hour cycle that we have. When we do things involuntary, when we do not think, when we do subconsciously, I believe my subconscious is my soul, which is connected to this formless God. That's what gives me energy. Doesn't matter if I sleep, if I don't sleep, I feel always energized. It's an open channel I have to speak to Babaji. I don't think a lot of us use that channel. Ether exists here. We touched on that yesterday in the Gyan. Sound waves are here. There are how many radio stations in New York, New Jersey area? I don't know. But the sound waves are here. Music is here. We cannot hear it because we're not tuned into the frequency. We need an instrument to be tuned in. It's the same. Babaji is on this channel. He has a wireless. He's on the channel. But no one is speaking to him because no one is tuned in. That is why I enjoy myself. I talk to Babaji every day. When I'm on holiday, and I shared this in New York here. Sometimes my wife asks me, she goes, oh, we haven't spoken to Babaji for 8 days. Don't you miss Babaji? And you never say anything about missing Babaji. I said, I don't. I talk to him every day. I've just got off the phone to him now. She's like, no, you've been with me. I said, my channel. I'm talking. Why does he have so much time to talk to me? Because I don't think there are many other people on that channel. I'm not saying I'm great. That's why I don't like sharing or talking of these things. But these are the secrets that I have learnt. The secrets of Gursikhi, where Babaji wants us to stand. When we are ready, Babaji is ready. You will see what will happen. But we have to be ready. Babaji once said, look at my hand. I have 5 fingers on my hand. He held up his hand to me like this. And he said, look, none of my fingers are the same length. They're all very different sizes. He goes, this is the mission. One branch is proceeding. One country is doing at a different pace. Somebody is at a third pace. Because they're all very different. I have to move in the middle somewhere to keep everybody and everything in tune. Because when that hand becomes a fist, he goes, everything is the same. He goes, then I can work, I can do what I need to do. These are very personal things Babaji has said to me, but until we don't talk about these things, until we don't share these things, how can we progress? How can we move on? We have a responsibility, we all do. If this is the thing for us, if we want to do this, if we believe in this, if we believe in our Guru, then it's time to stand up and say, yes, I do. It's time to stand up and say, yes, I do, because the world is changing, Babaji is changing, the mission is changing. There is so much he wants to give to us, but we are not able to receive everything he wants to give to us. The time and effort, you are all sitting here, how much time have we had personally with Babaji? How he has held us, how he has looked at us, how he has smiled at us, how he has spoken to us. If you were to ask anybody in this room to stand up and say, who is the closest to Babaji? Everyone would say, I am. Because he has done this with me personal. He has asked me how I feel. He has asked me about my pain. He has blessed me in such a way. He has cultivated us. He is fulfilling the contract of God knowledge. We live in a business world. We sign contracts every day. We buy a house, we sign a contract. We do any business deal, we sign a contract that it's on paper, it's binding. when we had the Gyan, there was a contract, and the contract began with the first principle. Because it was surrender, it was your choice. Babaji said, this body, mind, and all these material possessions are not yours, they are God's. Do you agree? If we agreed and said, yes, Tika, we moved on to the second principle. If we didn't agree, Babaji said, well, when you agree, you come and I'll give you the Gyan. You think about it some more. So what did we lay on the line? We laid everything down in front of the Guru. If we think we laid everything down, that's the severity, that's how serious the Gyan is. It's not something light that we talk about. It's not something we say, yeah, we've had the Gyan. No, it's something very, very serious. It's very deep. Until we don't understand its depth, we cannot move on. Because the understanding of the depth is on the other side, on the Guru side. So he took from us what he had given us. Our body, mind, and all of our possessions he took. And that was the contract. He said, I'll look after these, and I'll make sure your life, everything is perfect in your life. That's my responsibility. And I'll give you the Gyan. When I give you the Gyan, this is what is expected of you. The balance of that contract, the scales are dipped in his favor. He's fulfilling the contract up to here. That is why he's doing everything he is doing. We've heard when Shobita again was talking that I went on tour and I saw how Babaji is and he doesn't sleep. He's fulfilling that contract. And when we are not, does he ever say when he comes here, he never says, oh, you do this and you're wrong, so I'll give you less blessings. Or you still do this, you don't listen to me, I'll give you some less blessings, I don't like you, I'm not going to talk to you. Nothing. He doesn't say anything. He's the same because he's above all these things. The difference and the negativity, the impact of that imbalance resides with us when we feel that where is my Anand? Why am I not at peace? This peace, Anand, this bliss that Babaji talks about, why is that not in me? Why do I not have that feeling? As I said, we are our own limitation. We are limited because of all these things. That is the reason. Gursikhi, believing, is something very, very difficult if we think about it. But when we surrender and let it happens automatically. Then you will see yourself becoming, you don't have to try. I mean, before, when somebody used to tell me, you have to do something good, I thought it's impossible. How can I can't do that. You can't ask me to do that because it's not in my nature, it's not in my character to do that. I'll have to sacrifice time. I'll have to change as a person. I can't do that. But when you make the switch, when you say, well, okay, I don't have any desires, let it go, then you see how you change as a person. That transformation begins. A butterfly, a caterpillar, never wants to become a butterfly because a caterpillar never knows what a butterfly is. Babaji said a transformation in that butterfly. He goes, the caterpillar has never seen that he will become a butterfly. It is something which happens. And it doesn't just happen, the caterpillar suffers. The caterpillar cocoons itself. It doesn't eat, it's cut off. It cannot move. It's like it's dead, it's comatose. It's involuntary, it has no control over it, it just happens. But when it breaks out of that cocoon and we see a butterfly, we say that is the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. And when we see a caterpillar crawling on the ground, we say that's one of the most ugliest things that we have seen. It's the same with our lives. When we look in that mirror, what do we see? Do we see the ugliness of ourselves as a human being? Or do we see the beauty of a divine being having human experiences? What do we see? That is the mirror Babaji has placed before us. As I always say, the journey, any journey begins from the beginning. I knew I had to come into this hall this morning for the Smargam. That was a journey I had to take. I wasn't going to miraculously arrive here in this room. I had to get up, I had to get ready, and I had to go to the elevator, I had to come down, and I had to come into the hall. So my journey began when I woke up from my bed. A Gursikh's journey begins when he understands the Gyan, when he knows the Gyan, when he feels the Gyan, when it radiates within him, when it flows and permeates his very being. And sometimes that doesn't happen immediately. This is another thing I asked Babaji. I said, Babaji, when we have the Gyan, I said, I've heard from people, it's instant, and they say, yeah, we understand. And then sometimes they are thinking, and a day, a week, a month later, they say, yeah, now I understand. And then for some people, they have to wait months and months and months and years, and then they say, okay, I understand. Babaji said, kami to gyan mein to hai nahi. Kami us insan ki understanding ki hai. It resides within him. Because he has not been able to adopt the principles. He has not been able to overcome his own ego and his negativity. So how can you let anything positive come? Babaji said it's a cup. We've all heard the example. We are the cup. If the cup is already full with water, how can you pour anything else in? You cannot. It has to empty. Zameen and us have to surrender, have to be ready for his kirpa, for his blessings, for his bakshish. History proves. We all talk and we remember about the 7 stars of the mission. The 7 stars, and at one time, it is written in the Yugpurush, the very old book, which I have a copy of. And when I was talking to some Mahapurush and their personal experiences, they said at that time, Shahenshahji took one of the 7 stars' name. And he said, if I had 5 more like him, main duniya de upar raj kar dena se, he said. And I was very inspired by this. I thought, that's amazing. What a saint he must have been. I don't know how long ago that was exactly, but a few decades have passed. If we look into the world, if we look in within ourselves, do we see any star, a shining star that we can say yes? Or do we have the motivation to be that shining star? Why not? And I asked Raj Mataji then, I said, Rajmati, tell me about these 7 stars. Why were there 7 stars? And she said, she goes, wo 7 sitare, there was not a single one who thought about himself, who thought about him, I. He goes, wo sare, they were surrendered to the Guru. Guru said, do this, they said, Theek. Guru said, do that, they said, okay. Guru said, do this, but that was wrong, now do this, they said, Theek hai. Involuntary they were. Then I realized if we want to become assets to the Guru, we have to become involuntary. Let him use us. Let him beat for us. Surrender our existence to him. Again, I think I've repeated the same thing, but if you truly want to bring a smile to the Guru's face, like we saw, bring a smile to the Sadguru, then you need to do something that he is doing. You need to become like him. You need to become a mirror of him. Let him see that, yes, I have succeeded. Let him see that, yes, this person has understood, he's learnt. Let him then say, I don't need to focus on him now. Let me focus on somebody else. Let me help somebody else. Let him help me help somebody else. I always say that Babaji needs our help, and some people disagree. They say, why does Babaji need our help? No, he needs our help. Because the task that he is doing, the job that he has undertaken, is very, very difficult. To change the world, to change people, is very difficult.